Hey boys and girls, my name is Mr. Sampson. Today we're going to be looking at some essential knots that will help you on any backpacking, camping, shelter building kind of activities. We're gearing this information video towards the 7 and 9, grade 7 and 9 phys ed curriculum that looks at a lot of outdoor activities and especially land-based activities such as what I just mentioned, like camping, backpacking, stuff like that. So our main focus is on 4 knots today. We're going to be looking at the bowline, the preacher, the guideline hitch, and the slip knot as well. These are basic knots that will allow you to build a shelter, have you, or anything that you want to do. Alright, so the first knot we're going to look at is the bowline knot. This is an essential knot because it is the knot that anchors just about anything. Okay, so this is going to be your starting knot that you're going to use in order to attach your rope and build your shelters or whatever you're using the ropes for. Okay, so the way it works is you're going to use obviously your 2 hands. You're going to have one end in your hand, the other on the right hand. The way it's going to work is you're going to loop your right hand rope around your left hand just like that and make a little bunny ear or loop over here. Okay, so there's a little story that you can use to help remember this, especially when you're working with your students. It'd be beneficial for them to remember it by using this sort of story. So the way I do it is this is your bunny right here and this is your hole. So basically your bunny's going to come out of your hole. It's going to go around the tree down here, just like so. And then you can pretend that he saw a bear or she saw a bear, whatever it is, and he or she's going to go back into the hole like that. So what you want to do from here is you want to make sure that you use your thumbs to grab that end, that loose end, and you're also going to have your thumb over here that is holding that loop still. What you want to do is you want to let go of your hand here, and while holding on to this end at the same time, it should come out as a bow line, just like so. But again, this is an anchor knot that is very strong and very useful.
Hello, I'm Brandon, and I'm excited to show you the preacher knot. Alright, so next now we're going to do the preacher knot, which helps out for the secure loop. So to start, put your palm down, you go once, twice, 3 times around. Once you get that, you can take it off your hand with 3 of them being in place. You want to take the middle one and bring it over, up and around and all the way through. Once you get it up, then you want to squeeze on the 2 ropes on the side. You don't want to pull the loop because it's a harder spot to get off for the safety release. And once you're there, it's tight, and for the release all you do is undo it like that and it comes out, and there's the preacher.
Hi, I'm Joel. I'm looking forward to teaching us some knots so that we can learn more and be safer in the woods. It's extremely important for teachers to be very comfortable with these knots that we're going over today, and when it's appropriate to use these knots, because if you're out day camping or backpacking, you have to make shelters, which is a core component of doing those activities, and as part of those activities you have to use knots when you're building the shelters. So you as a teacher have to be extremely confident in these knots so that you can pass on that information onto your students so they can be successful in their shelter building. So now we're going to go on to the guideline hitch, which is an adjustable tension knot. So to start it off, you have your 2 lines here, you pinch off on one, and then on your main line that's under tension, you go around it once, twice, 3 times, and after you have those 3, you got to make sure they look really nice, so you have those 3 there. Then I'm going to put my thumb on them, and I'm going to come up and over my thumb and around on the back side over top of everything, and I'm going to tuck my tail through, and I'm going to make a point when I'm doing this to leave a lot of the tail so I have this loop through it, so I have a quick release present in the knot. And then once I have that snugged on, this is an adjustable knot that You can loosen or you can tighten it. And then you can quickly release it by just pulling on this and the whole thing will fall apart.
A good way for teachers to explain this to students is to have them put in small groups and to bring one person from each group into a little circle where the teacher can explain each person how to do that knot, and then they can go and show it to each of their members of the group, because you don't want a big group, because therefore no one will be paying attention or others will be watching other things. So if you just get small groups, you bring everyone in from that one person, then they'll teach it to their other classmates and they'll work from there. And if there's any questions, you're always available to help, but there's no way you can go individually around. There won't be enough time. You can easily practice this outside on any kind of tree or anywhere where you can tie knots and work on different ones.
The good thing about knots and anything to do with outdoors is that there's a lot of resources available, whether it be through books or apps or websites. So there's some handy websites that and resources that we've come to find, and we found that Andrew Foran's outdoor education book has a lot of good stuff about knots. It's very descriptive. It gives you good teaching cues and skill cues that you can bring into your classroom and how you teach your students. Also, we found a couple websites that were good. Animatedknots.com is a great website that looks at step-by-step how to do knots that we just demonstrated today. There's also an app made by Grog that looks at animation for knots too, which is a good way to use that as a resource to practice your knots outside and wherever you are. So those are the resources that we came up with. I'm sure there's tons out there, but these ones were really beneficial for us.